They say men fear women who know themselves. But what if the real fear is not of women at all, but of the parts of ourselves we see in them? There's a reason why some men adore, idolize, resent, or even avoid women. Why some women feel invisible, unheard, or forced to shrink. And why in relationships, things often go wrong not because of who someone is, but because of who we imagine them to be. Carl Jung once said, "The woman within him is the guide to his soul." But what happens when that inner woman is wounded, rejected, or buried under shame? In today's video, we're not here to point fingers or divide the sexes. We're here to dive into the archetypal, emotional, and often unspoken truths about how the feminine is seen, treated, and misunderstood, not just in women, but in all of us. This isn't just a conversation about women. It's a mirror, a myth, a medicine. Because until we see the feminine clearly, we cannot love her. And until we love her, we cannot truly know ourselves. Imagine this. A woman walks into a room, and without saying a word, the energy shifts. Some are drawn to her, others are threatened. Some want to possess her, others want to silence her. Why? Because women, whether we realize it or not, often act as mirrors, reflecting back to others their deepest longings, insecurities, and wounds. This isn't a romantic metaphor, it's a psychological fact. In the presence of a woman, especially one who is emotionally alive, authentic, or strong, people often begin to project parts of themselves they haven't yet faced. The rejected child, the abandoned lover, the unworthy self, the hungry soul. And suddenly, she's no longer seen for who she is, but for what she represents. The mother you lost, the lover who left, the one who said no, the one who could save you. If only she'd stay, love you back, or never change. But no one can carry that weight, not without disappearing. This is the first harsh truth. Many women are not loved. They are used as mirrors. And the tragedy? Many don't even know it. They just feel it in their bones. When love turns cold. When admiration becomes control. When being seen means being misunderstood. Jung understood this deeply. He saw how the feminine was not just a gender, but a symbolic force that awakens the unconscious. And when that unconscious is full of fear, shame, or pain, the feminine becomes a threat, not because of who she is, but because of what she reveals. Carl Jung believed that every man carries within him an image of the eternal feminine, an inner figure he called the Anima. She is not just a fantasy nor a dream lover. She is emotion. She is mystery. She is intuition, creativity, vulnerability, desire, chaos, and soul. She lives in the unconscious, shaped by his mother, the women he loved, the ones who hurt him, and the ones who were never allowed to be fully real. And so, most men don't meet women. They meet their anima through women. And here's where things get complicated, because if the anima is wounded, rejected, or undeveloped, the man may fall in love not with the woman in front of him, but with his own projection of her. She becomes a fantasy, a savior, a seductress, or worse, a threat, a betrayer, a monster. This is the second harsh truth. When we do not know our inner feminine, we distort the women we meet. The anima can turn real, complex women into goddesses or demons. One moment, he worships her. The next, he resents her for not being perfect. And all the while, he is chasing not love, but his own unconscious need to reconnect with what he lost inside himself. And for women, they feel this, even if they can't explain it. They feel when they are being idolized instead of known. They feel when their emotions are feared, not held. They feel when they are being asked to play a role instead of being loved for their truth. Jung didn't create these concepts to blame or shame. He offered them so we could wake up, so we could see that what we fear or desire out there is often what we've disowned in here. To reclaim the anima is not to become more romantic or emotional. It's to become more whole, to allow the feminine qualities within to rise, not in domination, but in sacred partnership. Because when a man befriends his inner feminine, he stops seeking a woman to complete him. He starts seeking one he can walk beside. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt unseen? As if they weren't really looking at you, but through you, chasing a ghost only they could see? That's what projection feels like. Jung described projection as the unconscious act of placing our inner world, our fears, wounds, and desires, onto someone else. And no one receives more projections than women. She becomes a screen, not a person, but a canvas for someone else's unfinished story. To the man who fears intimacy, she's too much. To the one who fears abandonment, she's not enough. To the one who worships the feminine, she becomes a goddess, until she dares to be human. And when she disappoints the fantasy, when she cries, says no, sets a boundary, or reveals her truth, the illusion breaks, and with it, often, the relationship. This is the third harsh truth. Many women are punished for not being the dream. It's not just romantic. It happens with fathers who expect obedience, with brothers who silence emotion, with friends who call her dramatic, with strangers who feel entitled to her smile. It's invisible, but it's heavy. Many women grow up learning to carry these projections like armor, shaping themselves to be what others want, just to stay safe, loved, or chosen. They become performers in someone else's story, and in the process, they lose touch with their own. This doesn't mean women are powerless or only victims. It means they are human and often exhausted from trying to live up to roles they never agreed to play. And for men, this is a call to awaken, to stop chasing the fantasy and start listening to the woman, to recognize when you're relating to her, or to your own unmet emotions she happens to trigger. Because true love does not project. It perceives. And perception begins where illusion ends. There is a silence passed down through generations. It's not always spoken, but it's felt in the hesitation before a woman speaks her truth, in the guilt after she says no, in the fear of being called too loud, too soft, too sensitive, too much. This silence didn't start with her. It began long ago, when the feminine was no longer worshipped, but feared, when the wise woman became the witch, when emotion became weakness, when softness became shame. Across centuries and cultures, the wild, intuitive, and powerful aspects of the feminine were tamed, not always by force, sometimes by praise. You're so good when you smile quietly. You're strong when you don't cry. You're beautiful when you don't speak. This is the fourth harsh truth. Many women are praised for disappearing. They learn to survive by becoming palatable, to stay small to be loved, to hide their anger to be safe, to trade their roar for approval. But beneath that performance, there's a storm. There's grief, there's rage, there's a deep knowing that something sacred has been lost. Jung didn't write much about patriarchy, but he knew that what is repressed does not vanish, it grows in the shadows. When the feminine is silenced in women, it also disappears from society, and we all suffer for it. Without the feminine, there's no empathy, no connection, no depth, no soul. And here's the truth. Many women are not trying to be more empowered. They are simply trying to remember who they were before they were told who to be. She is not tame. She does not ask permission. She does not shrink, apologize, or mold herself to be loved. She is the wild woman, the part of the feminine psyche that remembers the howl, remembers the dance, remembers the sacred rhythm of life, death, and rebirth. Clarissa Pinkola Estes, in Women Who Run with the Wolves, called her La Loba, the wolf woman, the bone collector. She is the one who gathers what has been lost, discarded, exiled. She brings the soul back to the body. And in Jungian terms, she is an archetype, the instinctual, intuitive, untamed self that lives beneath the personas we wear. But here's the harsh truth. Most women have had to bury her. Why? Because the wild woman is not safe. She speaks inconvenient truths. She demands freedom. She refuses to be nice for the sake of peace. She is everything society told women not to be. And yet, every woman feels her. In the goosebumps when she hears a song that reminds her of who she used to be. In the tears that rise without warning. In the rage that says, enough. In the whisper that says, come home to yourself. To reclaim the wild woman is not about rebellion. It's about remembrance. It's about letting the feminine return to her full expression. Not just soft and nurturing, but fierce, erotic, wise, and whole. And for men, to honor the wild woman is to honor life itself. It's to stop fearing her chaos and start respecting her truth. Because without her, love becomes obedience, and connection becomes control. There is a truth so simple it often gets overlooked. The feminine is not just in women, and the masculine is not just in men. We carry both, and we suffer when either is denied. This is the sixth and perhaps deepest truth. Until we heal our inner feminine, we will keep wounding each other. For women, that healing means reclaiming their full expression. Not just the nurturing mother or the beautiful muse, but the wild woman, the truth teller, the shadow dancer, the self-lover. It means grieving the ways they abandoned themselves to be loved. It means learning to say no without guilt, to speak without softening the truth, to take up space, not with arrogance, but with sacred presence. For men, that healing means turning inward, toward the anima, the soul, the feeling self. It means honoring their emotions as strength, not shame. It means seeing women not as saviors or seductresses, but as mirrors, partners, humans, with their own pain and power. Healing the feminine is not a trend. It's not a spiritual hashtag. It's a return to balance. Jung believed that true individuation, true psychological wholeness, comes when we unite these inner opposites, the masculine and the feminine, the logic and the intuition, the protector and the nurturer, the structure and the flow. It begins when we stop asking women to carry what we refuse to face in ourselves. It begins when we stop punishing them for showing us the parts of us we've lost. It begins with you. Take a breath. What part of your inner feminine have you neglected, feared, or silenced? What part of her are you ready to reclaim? Leave a comment below with the word returning if you're ready to come home, to yourself, to your soul, to balance. So, what is the harsh truth about women? It's that they've been carrying not just their own wounds, but the emotional weight of entire generations. They've been asked to be mothers to men, muses to artists, saints to sinners, and mirrors to every soul unwilling to look inward. But the even harsher truth is that we've all lost something sacred in the process. When we distort the feminine, we lose access to empathy, to depth, to creativity, to the quiet voice that whispers, "You are more than what you do." And when women forget their own power, when they trade intuition for approval, wildness for safety, truth for silence. The world becomes colder, flatter, more afraid. But it doesn't have to stay that way. You are not too sensitive. You are not too emotional. You are not too much. You are remembering. And with every tear, every boundary, every breath you take that says, I deserve to take up space, you are healing something ancient. And to the men watching, this is not about blame. This is about return. Return to feeling. Return to reverence. Return to the anima inside you who's been waiting, not to be rescued, but to be heard. We are not here to fight each other. We are here to see each other, to hold space for the feminine in all her forms, soft, fierce, quiet, chaotic, deep. Because when the feminine rises, we all rise. If this video resonated, leave a comment below with the word returning. Let's remind each other, healing is not about becoming something new. It's about remembering who we already are. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it. Sometimes one honest conversation can change everything. Until next time, walk gently, speak truth, and never forget, the soul is always listening.